Okay. Don't hit keep it started, right? Okay, so you hit record. All right. You're recording. All right. Ready? I want to do this like cool intro thing where I like come out of the trees and I'm like, "Hey, there I am. Hey, welcome." See, that's how we're just going to keep it like that. Hi, it's Ifft. Welcome to my new podcast. This is Crocodile Dumb Eddie, about my love for Australia. And I want you to watch every episode of this. We only filmed about 4 of them with some of my good friends, comedians from Australia. And I want you to know that I'm coming to Australia. That's right. I'm doing shows in Melbourne on November 22nd. November 23rd, I'm in Sydney at the Comedy Store. Melbourne, I'll be at the Comics Lounge. Melbourne Comics Lounge on the 22nd. 23rd, I'll be in Sydney, Australia. And then I think it's like, is it the 27th, the 28th? I don't know. 27, 28, 29. I'm in Wollongong. I'm in Adelaide at the Rhino Room. And then I'm I think it's like the 20. I don't know. You're going to have to look on idiof.com. But I'm in Brisbane at the Sit Down Comedy Club. So you can get your tickets. Pre-sale starts November 19th. November 20th, they all go on sale. So if you want to get the good seats, go to November 19th. No, oh, September 19th. September 19th. September 19th, the good tickets go on sale. September 20th, all the tickets go on sale. So like if you want to be like first, you go September 19th, get the pre-sale. I don't know, there might be a discount or something. But otherwise, just watch my podcast, enjoy it, check everything out on idiof.com. And then this is like, I'm going to do like an exit. Is there anything else I had to say? No. Okay. See you in Australia. I'm like a koala. Welcome to Crocodile Dumb Eddie. Tonight, whenever it is, this is a real treat. This is a special treat. This is the first time we've done a double. I'm getting 2-on-1 right now by one of the greatest podcasts in the history of podcasting, the Little Dum Dum Club. You guys, I guess I got to do your show years ago at the Adelaide Fringe, and I couldn't keep up. No, I'm
you were on a
serious.
couple
You're
of
too
times.
quick.
You're on a couple of times, and
You guys
you
are
did.
you're too funny. You're too quick. I was like, I'm too dumb for this. So
No,
Tommy Dassalo and Karl Chandler,
thank you.
thanks
I
for
think
doing the
what
show.
happened was you were down the beach and we got you in. Desperately needed you to come in, and I think you'd been sunbaking all day, and you just walked in halfway through it or something, and were like, "What the fuck's happening?"
Yeah, when you say you couldn't keep up, you were late. That's what was going on. That's not our fault.
Yeah.
It's kind of the story
sunburned
of
and
my
late.
life. It's the story of my life. I always show up and I just feel like I shouldn't have been there. Like I just was like, wow, I'm the guy that didn't show up with his homework again.
Does this go out on video? Do people at home know how you're dressed at the moment? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Every week,
gonna put on a funny costume for the show or something like that? Or
you're dressed, for people who are listening to this just in an audio manner, you're dressed as Crocodile Dundee. I assume to make us feel at home. It's like if we were doing a podcast, I don't know, like if we dressed up as fucking Laverne and Shirley, does that make you feel at home? Like Crocodile Dundee is a very small part of our lives 35 years later. We watched it once in the 80s and that was it.
Yeah, it was good too because we got on the call and you were here. We were just looking at a black screen. And I was like, "Hey Eddie, are you going to turn your camera on at any point?" And you were like, "Oh yeah, no, it's not working. Like we'll get it set up in a minute." You completely sandbagged us here,
And
and I love
surprise,
it.
we dressed up too as 2 unsuccessful open mic comedians. So yeah, we went to some trouble too.
well, I'll have you know that I picked this outfit specifically for you. Each week I do a different costume.
Mhm.
And I thought you guys deserved, because the show's called Crocodile Dumb Eddie.
Yeah.
And I thought you guys should be like
The ones.
the number one show. So
I love that.
wore this. And the leather or fake leather vest is making my back sweat so badly right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And my daughter came out earlier and she goes, "Dad, please take that off. Please." She's 7 and I'm embarrassing her already.
It's funny, like, how did you go to a store and say, "Give me the Crocodile Dundee," or is this like a homemade sort of job, or what? How does it work?
Luckily, I married Crocodile Dundee's ex-wife, and she had
Oh,
a shit.
Linda
Yeah.
Kozlowski. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. See, I pretended like it was such a small part of our lives, but I know fucking everything about
Yeah.
this movie, by the way.
I
so-
personally would have
Yeah.
felt more at home if you had have dressed up like Dame Edna for this. I would have preferred that.
That's how he
Okay,
dressed
so-
for the Adelaide podcast, I thought. So yeah.
So last episode we had Chopper on, Heath Franklin.
Wow. Oh,
And
the pretend Chopper.
dressed as Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Here's the best part. It was like 3 hours I was in makeup for this
yeah.
podcast.
Are we?
Jeez.
What is
For-
this show? Are we on the RuPaul's Drag Race podcast? Like, what is
This-
this?
This show hasn't even launched, and I was in 3 hours of makeup. And-
For an audio medium.
and-
Nice.
and I sit down, and Chopper comes on, or Heath, or whatever he goes by, and 2 seconds into it, his computer goes out, and he texts us. He's like, "Yeah, my computer's broken," and I'm like, "I'm fully makeup." So we were like, "Who could we call that's available at any moment?" We're like, "Let's
Wow.
call Chris Franklin."
Ah,
So we
great.
call Chris Franklin. and
Hey,
I'm
hey,
thinking,
that's unfair. He might not be conscious. So yeah, he's not always
So
available.
we call Chris Franklin. We go, "Can you podcast right now?" He goes, "Sure." We go, "Okay, get on a computer." He goes, "Oh, computer?"
Yeah. I was going to say, I was surprised he had a Wi-Fi signal under the bridge he was sleeping under.
Also, we should have saved this costume for him. It's like, you're underdressed, dude. He is always way more Australian dressed than you are right now as Crocodile Dundee.
So then we called Mickey D, and I said,
Oh, Adelaide
"Mickey,
Zone.
we're in an emergency situation. I'm fully dressed in drag. I know you're good with those kind of women."
Also, brutal to get a call. Chris Franklin's not available. I need you as backup. Oh my god!
Wait, is that why we're here? Because Mickey D couldn't do it either?
Could you not get Dickie Nee for this episode or something? What awful Australian comedian was unavailable for us to get the call up?
So then we called him on, and he didn't have a chair high enough to sit
Right.
in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Right,
So we finally resorted to you guys. So thanks.
right,
for doing it.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
You guys
beautiful.
were one of the hardest bookings ever.
Yeah.
Because
really?
there's 2 of you to get together.
Yeah,
Mm,
sure. Yeah.
We're
yeah.
doing this on a public holiday, so you have to pay us penalty rates for doing this. we should
Yeah,
point
we're
out.
mourning the Queen right now, so maybe you should have dressed as RuPaul or whatever it was last week. Yeah, that would have been a lot easier.
Did the Queen die?
Did you? Oh man, have you not seen the news? She died. She was our god. Down
Yeah.
Here. Do you guys have the Queen over there? Do you have a Queen?
We do on CNN, but Fox doesn't acknowledge her.
Okay, right. Yeah, we got a Queen. She's still the number one over here, and she dead now. So
It's been really difficult. No one
Yeah.
knows what to do. We're all
Yeah.
just all the convicts are freaking out.
yeah.
The Queens on CNN love the Queen. Like,
Okay.
they are just in love with her.
What does that mean? The
no-
Queen's on CNN.
The gay men on CNN are
Ah,
in
right.
love with the Queen.
Right.
No one else cares.
Right, yeah.
Nobody in America
Yeah.
could give a shit about
Yeah.
the Queen.
Are you guys
And-
over there? You're a bit like fascinated by the British response to the Queen passing, because we've got that
It-
here, but then also there are people that really care about it. We're kind of in the middle.
I don't know anyone who cares. I don't know anyone who even. I mean, it'd be like if I'm trying to put somebody in the same situation. Like the Kardashians would be a much bigger deal. If one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Yeah,
Kardashians-
Sure.
absolutely.
Well, you guys
that's
literally-
the closest thing to our queen.
You literally have an Independence Day, which means we got rid of the Queen. Like that's a
True,
fucking day for
true.
you. We don't have that. We still have Queen's birthday. We celebrate 2 different Queen's birthdays. That's how into it we still apparently are.
Mm.
2
But do
different
you
Queen's
guys
birthdays.
does anyone in Australia really care?
Well, we care for the holidays, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
still part of us like I said, you had the Independence Day. I think if we had one of them, it'd stop some people caring. It'd stop the new generation of people caring. But we do. I don't know. I mean, Tommy and I don't care about any women dying, obviously, but like everyone else in Australia.
Hang on, I don't want to be lumped in with that. Why am I? Why are you dragging me under the bus with
sounded
you?
a lot
If you want to
better.
roll under the
It
bus.
sounded a lot better if there was someone else on board with that, I thought. So, yeah.
Wow, public holiday timetable, and you still found a bus to crawl under. Very nice.
No. Yeah, there are people here. I don't know. I feel like we haven't cut that umbilical cord quite yet for everyone. So yeah, we're technically she's still on our coins. I think that's a major part of it. She's still on our currency, so we still see her every day.
Yeah, some of us more
Yeah,
than
but-
others.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
obsessed with cash.
Yeah.
But see, we're so divisive in the United States. We've got people on coins and on currency that like half the country just calls them rapists.
Right.
Like, he was a slave owner and a
Yes.
rapist. You know,
Yeah.
like half
Yeah.
the country hates everyone.
You owe me a 50. That's one Cosby. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Yeah.
Whatever half the country likes in America, the other half absolutely hates.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just-
Yeah.
Everything is divided now.
I think you guys are like England in that you seem like you've got your own civil wars happening a lot more than Australia. Like we've got, it's like what have we got in Australia? We just sort of go, "Oh, Adelaide, you're a bit fucked in the head." That's about it. There's no hate. There's just
Yeah.
like some slight little jokes about people in other states, but you guys like fucking hate other states. Like England, anyone with a slightly different accent, it's like fucking kill these cunts.
Sports does that, but that happens in England. I think it's the sports, and I don't
Really?
know if it hasn't developed that much in Australia where your footy teams, the cities
No.
hate each other. Yeah,
No,
because
we
you
don't
also
have it.
have so many footy teams in one city.
Yeah,
In
yes.
Melbourne. So we have like most cities only have one team, with the
Yeah.
exception of like LA or San Francisco or New York or Chicago. They
You're
might
right.
have two teams in the city. So and even in those cities, like you have to identify yourself. It's like if you live in New York, you're like, I'm a Giants Mets fan. I'm a Yankees Jets fan. And
Yeah.
and you align with your teams, and that's who you are. But like if you're from New York and you're a Giants fan, you literally want to kill. You would probably drop a nuclear bomb on Philadelphia if you had.
Yeah,
a button.
yeah.
You'd
Yeah.
be
We
like,
have a
"I'll
micro
bomb them."
version of that because it's all just suburbs. Like most of the AFL teams are all like based on suburbs in Melbourne. So there's just a lot of suburb on suburb hate where people on one side of the city are like, I'll never cross the fucking river to go to Chapel Street.
Yeah.
They're all fucking cunts over there and I hate them.
Yeah.
Fuck Collingwood. They're all fucked.
But that is funny because you guys have got whole cities and you've got one NFL team or whatever it is. Whereas here,
Yeah.
there's suburbs here that have a full AFL biosphere, but the suburb you can walk through in like 3 minutes. Like you can
Yeah.
accidentally walk through Collingwood
Yeah.
and not know about it.
The training ground is the suburb for
Yeah.
the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's charming that you have like your neighborhood team and where ours are giant conglomerations and corporations. Like I'm from Pittsburgh, and when Ben Roethlisberger, our quarterback at the time, after he won the Super Bowl, he crashed his motorcycle driving without a helmet, texting and drinking, I think. And he was in the hospital, and people tailgated in the parking lot of the hospital.
Hang on,
that he was
tailgated.
in.
Tailgated means do you have a party in the?
Partying
You
in
have
the
a
car
party
park.
out of the
Yeah.
tailgate of the boot of your car.
Oh,
Like a
And-
Grateful Dead concert, right? Just
yes,
posted up in the
outside
hospital car park.
hospital.
yeah,
In
Right.
the
man.
parking lot are all
Some
the
bootleg
Steeler
merch.
fans in their black and gold, holding up signs that say "Get well, Ben. Our season depends on you."
Great. Great.
I mean, the ignorance is at another level of like when I saw like the QAnoners and the MAGA people, I was like, and everybody's like, "This is crazy." I'm like, "No, you didn't see this coming a mile away."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you not been to a WWE fight? Have you not
Yeah.
been to even like a UFC fight or a tailgate party on Sunday of a football game? This is just politics have become sport.
But
Well,
Eddie, you're underestimating it, Eddie. Like out the front of the hospital is like the perfect place to drink because it's like if you go too far, it's right there.
Yeah.
You got immediate access to stomach
Yeah. Chuck
pumping.
a drip out the window. Yeah.
It is, and I'll give you a funny story. One of my friends punched my other friend in the head one night at our
That
high
is
school
good.
reunion, and he had like a gash, like it was huge. It had to be stitched up, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So we rushed to the hospital, and he's like, "No, let's go to another bar." And I'm like, "No, dude, if that stays open long enough, they can't repair it. Like, and you're gonna have this like giant weeping wound on your head for the longest time and a horrible scar." So I go to the hospital and they're like, "Yeah, we definitely need to stitch that up." And I said, "How long do you have before you can still stitch it up?" And he goes, "You got about 6 hours," I think the doctor said. And my friend goes, "Okay, back to the bar."
Well,
And the doctor's like, "No, we need to stitch it up." He's like, "No, we need to numb me. I'll go numb it up some more."
Yeah.
Come back. So he like made like a babushka on his head, and we went to a bar and drank for like 3 more hours, and then he
That's
came back
great.
and got stitched up.
Give me
Man.
10 cc's of cocksucking cowboy. That'll sort this wound
Is that
out.
a drink? That sounds like
Yeah.
a great drink.
It's a
Are you
shot.
serious?
Yeah. Do you not have that?
Cocksucking
there?
cowboy? No, what is it?
It's what is actually in it.
Man, they might have one. They might have it at the bars at Texas. Just go and find out for us. Will you? Just go and-
Ask the
Hold
fellas on
on.
CNN.
I was gonna say I haven't been hanging out with Milan in a few years, so I don't.
That is,
don't know what it-
I full on thought
Google
that
it.
came from America, but that's not an American drink. That's not a thing
I
over
don't
there.
think so.
Oh
What is
wow,
it? Is
okay.
it just a cum shot or something?
It's what? It's a Bailey. Bailey's like a milky sort of drink.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yummy.
2
Yeah.
parts Bailey's Irish cream and cold butterscotch schnapps.
Yeah. Tommy's just Googled that, so that's on his algorithms
Ah,
now.
fuck.
Yeah, that's but it is the Super Bowl Friday, I guess, for us here right now at the moment. This is the AFL Grand Final Eve. So this is as big as it gets for like our National Football League at the moment, and that's not that big. We usually have like a parade today in Melbourne, which is weird because like it's always the final's always in Melbourne, no matter who gets in, no matter
But
what cities play.
Melbourne's still on COVID lockdown.
No. Well, you know what? See, I think this is what's happening. What happens is there's always a parade, and which can be awkward because it can be like Fremantle versus Gold Coast or whatever, and it's like two cities that aren't in Melbourne, and so no one gives a fuck. But there's people going down in this parade down the main street, and everyone's like, "Who fucking cares what's happening right now?"
Yeah.
So this year, I think because of COVID, they're putting it down a river. They're going down a boat on a river, which seems insane to get the 50 most valuable athletes in the country and chuck them on a fucking boat a day before the biggest game of the year. But anyway,
know,
that's what
don't
they're
they know
doing.
Cruise ships are where everyone gets COVID.
Yeah. Well, and also having sportsmen on international waters probably
Yeah.
not the best idea.
Yeah, and also
yeah.
like our river's like renowned as like one of the most polluted river in Australia. That's for
Mhm.
sure. So if you fall out or anything, if you don't
Oh, I didn't
drown,
know that.
you're
Why is
probably
that
dead
river
anyway.
so polluted? Is that the Yarra?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
That's
nice way of
polluted?
pronouncing it. Yeah. Well, have you seen it? It looks fucking horrible. It's called the Upside Down River. It is just pure brown. Like it's and every couple of days there's like a little odd spot saying, "Oh, we put a net in the water and we found 18 shopping trolleys in like, a surface area of like 3 square meters or something." It's
Yeah.
like it's
I
fucked.
love my favorite example of Australian racism, because there's many, but my favorite example.
And you're wearing
is
some of it
when-
right now.
We've got the grand final for that happening on Sunday. It's a big weekend.
So when the Chinese scooters came to Melbourne, people were.
Well,
just
I mean,
picking
we
them
call
up
them
and
scooters, but whatever.
But the China, there was a brand that came from China, and people were just picking them up and throwing them in the river.
Yeah.
They were finding all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bikes too. The
Yeah.
scooters are back, and I think they're having a bit better run this time. But
Yeah.
yeah.
To be fair, I don't think we knew they were Chinese until you've told us right now. I think we were just throwing scooters in the river because it was funny. But yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't a political statement. It was more we had too
Okay.
many cocksucking
So-
cowboys. All right.
So I'm not gonna tell you who told me about that, but it came across as this like, mate, they fucking took the fucking Asian scooters, and took the
Was
dumb cunts fucking scooters and threw them in the fucking.
Was it someone who didn't have a computer for your podcast a few weeks ago? Or
Also, if you start to bother pointing
that
out
realm.
everything that's Chinese in a story you're telling, you're going to take a long, you're going to eat up so many hours out of your life. Yeah, doing this pod on my Chinese microphone.
yeah.
Into my Chinese laptop.
Yeah.
My Chinese table.
I invented this podcast for the reason of the joke was that I'm trying to get my visa to get into the country because my
Nice.
love of Australia. So I'm trying to show it with all my and my extensive knowledge of Australia. And when I say knowledge, I just have notes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
Sure.
I don't know shit. but I found neither do you guys.
No.
I'm amazed at the lack of historical knowledge of Australia that comes from Aussies.
Man, we know more about America than we do about Australia, probably. We're just, all of our TV is from America. We don't have that much local content, really. We would probably know name more cities in America than we can in Australia, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
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 From like
Wow.
obscure Simpsons jokes and stuff like that.
I felt like 20 years ago, you guys were much more like the UK. And in the last 10 years, you've become like the 51st state of America.
Right. Okay.
And
Why do you say that?
I don't know, but I feel like every Aussie I've ever talked to comes to America and they've got their plan. They head to San Diego because it's like, they're like home. And then they go right to Vegas. They go to LA and Vegas. And then they're like, all right, maybe I'll go to New York.
Oh, really? What's in San Diego? I don't know anything about San Diego. Why
San
do they
Diego,
go there?
you just feel like you're in Australia. It's
Really?
It's where it's where
very
Anchorman was
similar.
set, which is every AFL player's favorite movie.
Oh, yes.
So they're probably pretty keen to
Yeah.
do the pilgrimage,
Yeah.
do the Wolf
Why? 'Cause
Hall
they
reality tour.
They like to kill a man with a trident. Why do they?
There was a thing for a long time in the program. I don't know if NFL has this, but in the AFL, in the Australian Football League, there's a magazine every game, and you open it up, and there'll be like a player profile. And for about 10 years, their favorite movie, everyone's favorite movie of all time, was The Shawshank Redemption. And then very slowly, it turned into 100% Anchorman. Every AFL player, that was their favorite movie, Anchorman. So yeah.
I don't know about their intelligence, the AFL players. I did a show one time, a stand-up show. One of the Adelaide Crows is like a fan of mine, and he asked me to come do a show for the team during the daytime at their practice facility. They were all sitting on the turf, and I was like, "Hey, this is gonna be awkward."
Great.
But they invited all of the people that work in like the back office and their kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I haven't bombed like that in 10 to 15 years.
I was going to say, if for a second I forgot that you weren't dressed as you are now, because I was like, oh, you would have killed this gig.
Yeah.
Dressed as Crocodile Dundee, this would have been great with the kids.
So you can't. So no one of the Crows is going to vouch for you to get this visa. That's off the table.
No,
You're gonna have to look elsewhere.
I'm in trouble with the visa this time. I listened to your podcast a bunch of times, and I'll never forget listening to it randomly one time. I'm just listening to it, and I like listening to your podcast because, especially for me, because I know everyone on it usually, and you have on not just Australians, but sometimes you have American comedians when they come through. And it's like the closest thing I get to hearing all about Australia. And you guys kind of have the same sense of humor as I do. Sorry to group you into that horrible place. But, there's a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of cynicism. I enjoy that completely.
Thanks, man.
People are like, people always go, you got to be more positive. I'm like, positive's not fun. There's nothing fun about positivity.
Give me some
Tony
mood.
Robbins is not fun.
Yeah.
He's the last guy I'd want to hang out with. I would never want to party with Tony Robbins.
And also,
I would want to.
He's at the top of his field. There's a reason for him to be positive. Look at us. You're cosplaying as fucking Crocodile Dundee, and we're fucking talking to you.
I don't know who's worse.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to your podcast one time, and you had on the Dollop.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, yeah.
Gareth is
Dave and Gareth.
Gareth is one of my favorite people in the whole world, and I love Gareth. And I hear you guys say, "What's the worst podcast in the world?" And Dave Anthony goes, "It's got to be Eddie Iff's."
Oh, really? Really?
I was wondering why there was a reason in that story that you were deliberately singling out love. Gareth, great guy. Gareth's one of my best friends. Can't get enough of that Gareth.
But I didn't know if Dave didn't. I called Gareth afterwards and I said, "Does Dave not like me? Or was he?" And I didn't understand if he went, "What's the most offensive podcast?"
Right.
Because talking shit there's a lot I'm not proud of. I mean, it got out of hand a lot, many times where I wanted to like just leave myself and just go, I'm not part of this anymore. But I closed it down because I had a daughter. I'm like, I can't be involved in this anymore. I have a child. And now I'm bringing it back.
What this
But
story is
I would-
highlighting to me is our incredible interview technique of just getting these guys in. And our question is,
Yeah.
what's the worst podcast?
Also, I feel like if that had been asked by anyone else to Dave Anthony, he would have named us, if that helps. I'm positive that would have been the answer to anyone else.
well, I didn't know if he meant like it's the worst, like it's just unlistenable, or he
Right.
was like, oh, it's the most offensive.
The best
People that
offensive, yeah.
listen to this podcast right now, please get on Twitter at Dave Anthony and ask him the same question again, because I'd be intrigued to see how many times he answered us
Right.
over you.
Also, ask him if he thinks the virus is real or not. I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
Ask if
Oh,
masks work.
It got to a point with him with that. I text Gareth about that. I go, is this a joke or is he serious
Yeah.
about COVID? Because he's all the shit he posts and retweets. I go, I'm afraid to leave my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's made me into a horrible hypochondriac.
I-
I think
I feel
we're all
like-
gonna die of COVID.
I feel like the government should step in and take Gareth away from Dave, because, I feel like Gareth's now posting a lot of the same sort of stuff, and it's like, is he of his own free will at this point, or is this
Yeah.
like a child born into a cult and doesn't know any better? I don't know.
Are they joking, or are
No,
they really
no.
they really believe that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's all real and whatever, but there's a point where it's like you don't have to retweet and tweet about it every 15 minutes of every day, I think. But look, that's me. That cunt's a fucking millionaire, and again, ta-da! The fuck am I up to?
Come on, you guys can take a whole fan base and get them to follow you to Thailand. That was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
We did do 3 podcast festivals where we were the only podcast in Thailand. And look, I will say, yeah, on paper that does look that was a heap of fun and it was great. But convincing Australians to go to Thailand is not the hardest fucking con.
Yeah. It's
in the
surprising
book.
that Thailand doesn't have their own AFL team. Like they're
Yeah,
basically Thailand
yeah.
and Bali are just
Yeah.
suburbs of.
Yeah.
They're just left at Perth. They're
It's
just
like
suburbs.
It's like you trying to convince people to go into Cancun. It's like it's not the hardest thing in the world. But you're right. We do get bigger numbers in Thailand than we do in Adelaide, to be completely honest. So yeah. A lot easier.
Yeah, but it was pretty impressive. I almost showed up when you guys were there.
I heard.
Yeah.
We heard
And
from our mutual friend Milan that it's like
and I was gonna-
it's sometimes you get pop-in guests in like a Melbourne comedy club, but not pop-in to a fucking Thailand podcast festival. Like
Right.
I was just going by. I just thought I'd get out of a Bangkok air flight and pop
Yeah.
in.
We get bumped at our own festival for you and Jim Jeffries
Yeah.
dropping in.
I
You could have
told-
come the year
I
that
told
Dave
Mil-
Anthony was there. He would have really loved it. Yeah.
Dave wouldn't have been happy because I don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
The time I was going to come, I told Milan too. I go, don't tell them. I just want to walk in and be like, what are you guys doing?
That would have been quite funny because we did all of our shows on a beach, which it's sort of funny because like you have to do that. Like so we had these comedy / podcast festivals on the beach in Thailand on the island of Koh Samui, and that because you sort of need to do that if you're going to go there. You want everyone to see it and the pictures to be like you're outside on this beautiful beach. But as we both know, outdoor gigs suck. So we're having like cicadas or whatever the fucking Thai equivalent of just over the top of us. Crickets sounding like we're dying outside, just hearing crickets. But
Oh, getting the audio back and it's like, this is dog shit. You can hear the fucking waves in the background.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
the audience laughter is just getting lost. It's like, this is a nightmare for anyone at home.
We did a stand-up gig once on the beach where it was like there was a bunch of us and we didn't have an MC. And so if you were on Eddie, you would just introduce the next act. And someone was supposed to intro Tommy, and he thought for his little joke intro, he was just gonna like hide in the ocean, like take all his clothes off and be in the ocean and like run in off the out of the ocean to jump on the stage and be on. But then they sort of forgot to introduce him, so he's just hiding in the fucking ocean
They
for
brought
like
on
10 minutes.
They brought on the act after me.
Yeah.
And so that act is then they're not going to bring me on because they're bringing on the person that's meant to be on after them. So I'm in the water and it's like it's gotten the water is cold. Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of squatting in the middle of the
Yeah.
ocean and it's like dark and it's like I'm gonna get sweat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Harold halted. This is how I'm gonna die.
Yeah, there's going to be an autopsy. It's like cause of death. Limo went long. so Tommy couldn't breathe that long. Yeah.
Where was this? Where did you do this?
Oh, this was on the beach.
This
on
is
the beach at Koh
Koh
Samui.
on
So
the
we would.
beach.
In
It was-
Thailand. This.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did stand up also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we called it a festival, a podcast festival, but we were the
Right.
only podcast. So then we
Right.
didn't want to do a podcast every night. So then we one night we just go, oh, we'll do stand up, despite no one being into that. They just want to see the podcast. They don't want to see stand up comedy.
Eddie, I like how you're shocked. It's like we've gone all this way to another country, and you're like, whoa. You mean to tell me you did 2 gigs over there?
Yeah. No, I think that was the face of like I was going to drop in. Oh fuck, there was a stand up show. I fucking definitely should have dropped in. I could have done 10.
I was on my way. My wife had a miscarriage, and I still almost went.
Wow.
Oh God.
You okay? You okay? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm going to Thailand.
Yeah.
Because I got some gear that I want to try about this, and I
Yeah,
hear there's this
yeah.
awesome waterfront comedy show happening in
Yeah.
like 18 hours.
Yeah.
I have a horrible joke that I've never used about, and you guys might appreciate it, about the miscarriage. And my wife's like got a good sense of humor, so she laughs at everything. But I still don't have the balls to do the joke. And it's like when she had the miscarriage, when you like in America, I don't know about Australia, but you don't have it taken care of in the hospital. You actually go to an abortion clinic,
Right.
and they, take care of the whatever they call it at that point. And we're sitting in their worst time of our life. My wife is in like, just a mess. And I'm sitting in this. They told us, they said, we're going to send you at a good abortion clinic. There probably won't be protesters there.
Yeah.
I was like,
Great.
they're better not. I'm coming
Yeah.
there with a miscarriage and they're protesting. I'll be knocking people out left and right.
Yeah.
So I get in there and we're sitting there and I'm trying to make my wife feel better. I don't even remember saying this. My sister told me that my wife told her I said it. I'm looking around the abortion clinic, trying to make my wife feel good, and I go, "It's amazing. I've never been here before."
Yeah. Well, Tommy lives in a new house now, but he did live basically about 50 meters from the premier abortion clinic
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
Yeah, I used to live right near one, and I did. It's funny you say that, Eddie, because one morning I was out getting my coffee, and I and I bumped into a guy I know, and we were just like chopping it up in the street, and then he's like, "Oh, what are you up to?" I'm like, "Oh, I just live 2 doors down. I'm just getting a coffee, about to do the podcast. What are you doing in this neck of the woods? Did you move around here?" And he's like, "Oh, waiting for the misso to get an abortion." It's like, cool, man. Good to catch up. Something
Yeah.
about the combo of misso and abortion in the
Yeah.
same sentence. It's like,
Do they
pretty
protest over there? Or you guys?
They do, yeah.
No,
they
no,
do.
they
no,
do.
there are
the
protesters there.
Christians,
Yeah.
Yeah. But they had a rule. I know they had a rule out there where I know this happened because there were always protesters out there, and then I think there was a law brought in where they weren't allowed to protest too close. They weren't allowed to be out the front. And so one day I was like literally walking down that street, and there was these people like being all weird, like a fair way away from it. And I was literally like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we're protesting abortion." And like they had to tell me what they were doing because I was so far away from it. And once they told me, then I was like, "Well, fuck you." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, they had to.
I was sure you were going to say. So they're at Tommy's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the streets get really clogged up down there for a little bit when I lived there. Because they had to be across the street, which was like in front of a train station. So it just kind of looked like they were anti-rail network. It's like it's against God to get on this locomotive to go into the city.
This man, the trains are always late. This station's an abortion, man.
Let's face it, abortion protesters are really fun people. Those are like, if you're looking for a good time out, that's who you want to hang out with.
Man,
I can't think of a.
They're quite, in my experience in that area, because that's Yeah, I mean, due to Tommy used to live there, and it's it's on the way to the city from me. I used to go through there a lot, and yeah, they're generally old guys that I don't think have ever had a root anyway, so they probably don't have the context of needing an abortion or anything. They're like weirdos, super old weirdos.
I would always think the guys that are there are beta male type guys that the woman convinced them to go with them.
To be anti-abortion.
Well, yeah, like the guy became anti-abortion because the woman told him he was anti-abortion, and he's like, okay, all right, I'll go with what you're doing. I'll support you, honey. If you're into this, I can't see unless they're like zealot type. I mean, I have a horrible joke about it on stage right now about how much more fun men are than women, and I go, you've never heard of fathers against drunk driving.
Are you just trying out your whole new special on us, or what's
Yes.
what's happening? Is this a trial?
There's no such thing as specials anymore. I just found out today that I'm part of some horrible lawsuit, and they've yanked all our shit off Sirius and Spotify and all this stuff.
Whoa!
Why?
It's all. Oh, it's the craziest thing going on. There's a lawsuit.
I mean, having heard 2 of your bits of material, I understand why, but like, why legally have they done it?
Where do we sign? We're on board.
You're into the lawsuit. It's a class action suit.
Star witnesses. Yeah.
I don't know about class. I haven't heard anything about class, but it's a lawsuit. Yeah.
I don't even know if I don't even know if I'm part of it. I hope I'm not part of it. I'm trying to get out of it. There was this thing asking for mechanical rights to jokes. Basically, that like we should be like singer songwriters. We get the performance of the song, and we also get the written royalty of the song.
All right.
And so it started a lot with like George Carlin's estate and all these big names saying, hey, we want all these royalties. And, just under management advice, I was like, all right, I'll sign the thing. And, whatever you tell me to do, I do whatever you. And then all the platforms went, you're deplatformed.
Right.
And it was
right.
What? And so they just yanked us off everything. And we make a good chunk of income, especially through the satellite radio. And they were like, yeah, you're off. And I was like, I'm sorry. Can I come back on? Nope.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'll jump out of this because it turns out
So what are they playing instead of that? Are they just Mr. Bean videos all over the top, all through the airlines now, airwaves?
Well, that was the thing. I was under the impression that like everybody signed this thing. Like 350 of you signed it.
Right.
And that's like
it turned into just Eddie Ifft signed it.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, if it's like if you're getting performance money, but you're also getting money for like the written rights of the joke, that would be a way to chill people out about joke theft. You know what I mean? If it's like someone hits you up and they're like, "Hey, I'm really sorry, I ripped off your gag," but don't worry, I filed it with APRA.
Yeah.
You're getting a cool,
$50
$50 in the skyrocket from me doing your joke.
That's the exact thing that they're talking about. The argument against it is, or the argument against it is saying, "Hey, somebody will be able to perform your act and pay you for it and go out and do your act just like a cover song."
That's sick.
And that's exactly what
that's
I thought.
awesome.
Like,
you're just at home just cashing in. Yeah, that's mad.
I can't wait to see some other guy pay me to bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, go for it. Knock yourself out.
I want to see the Eddie Ifft cover band, the Eddie Wenft.
Eddie Ifft 2, like Gallagher 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I met Gallagher at a party one night. Well, I met Gallagher's daughter at a party. And she's like, my dad used to be a comedian. And I was like, who's your dad? She's like, I don't think you'd know him. And I go, who's your dad? She goes, Gallagher. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
How many times have you said, who's your daddy to a girl at a party, by the way?
And she goes, he's living at my house. I go, and he's right down the street. I go, can you go get him and bring him over?
Yeah.
She's like, because his wife had kicked him out and he was living. I go, what's he doing? She's like, he just sits at home and trades stocks all day long. I'm like, can you get him to quit that and come?
So he came to a party, came in there with a mallet and smashed every bit of fruit at the party.
Pretty much.
Does he?
She said to me, do not talk about Gallagher too. Do not do it.
Oh, okay.
With-
So for
within-
context, Gallagher 2 is his son, or what?
his
What's Gallagher
brother,
2?
His brother.
Ah, right. Okay.
We ended up getting in the conversation. Of course, you can't tell me what not to talk about.
Yep.
So it became all about Gallagher too.
Yeah.
His brother was down on his luck. He said to his brother, "Why don't you go out and perform my act in the cities I don't work, like the smaller cities? I'll go to the
Right.
major city. You go to the smaller cities. You just do what I do. Here's my whole act. Do it." Then his brother started doing well.
Well,
Got an agent.
what a country that can sustain 2 Gallaghers doing the same act. Fuck.
Yes.
This country can't even sustain one of us.
Yeah.
And then he started going into the same towns like 2 weeks before Gallagher would get
Oh
there.
no.
Fuck yeah, that's great.
No one would be at his shows because they all went to see Gallagher 2. And it's like, why are you going to go see Gallagher 1? You've already seen Gallagher 2.
Yeah.
And so he went to his parents and he's like, "Mom, Dad, my brother's fucking stealing from me." And they were like, "He's your brother." Like, let him do it.
Share your
Yeah,
toys. Share your
yeah,
little watermelon with your brother.
Yeah, how awesome is that? Poor
So
Gallagher.
does Gallagher 1, does he perform still at all or not?
No,
All right.
not really.
Because I was going to say, that's so brutal, just the phrase coming from the daughter of, "My dad used to be a comedian."
Yeah.
Like, that's so depressing.
Yeah. So Gallagher 2 is
I
still.
think my daughter says that now.
Yeah.
Is Gallagher 2 still on the road then? Is he still out?
No, I don't think so. And I think Gallagher 1
Mm.
lives in Vegas now. And all the talk among comedians, and it's happened to me, they're like, Gallagher will show up at your show, watch your show, and then come give you advice afterwards.
That's
Right.
And I was
sick.
like, "Oh, I can't wait for this." So he was at my show one night, and I was waiting, and no advice.
Ah,
So I'm
the perfect act.
approved by
Eddie
some-
Ifft.
Yeah, Gallagher.
Yeah. You're Gallagher
thinks I'm
3.
better than-
You've been
I'm-
anointed.
If he had no advice, I assume he didn't do the abortion clinic joke that night.
Let's be honest though. If Gallagher, take away everything he's done, you've never seen anything like it before, walks in a comedy club tomorrow night and does that act in front of you, you'd walk out going, "It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my whole life."
We don't. We know of him, but we don't. He's a very American actor. I don't think he's ever toured over here. He's not
Very
really.
simple. Very simple. Horrible, shitty jokes. After the punchline, picks up a mallet and smashes a water.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Like,
kind of what
I
I
like
always
it.
knew of it, but I always thought there must be more to it than this. There
I
must be so much going on.
thought there was less to it. I didn't actually know he did jokes. I thought he just smashed watermelons. Honestly.
It got to the point where every time he was talk, people are like, "Shut up and hit it!"
Yeah, sick. The dream.
and if you watch, and you can go on YouTube and watch some of his shit, the front row of the audience comes in raincoats and rain
Yep.
jackets, and they bring plastic, and they pull the plastic up over them. And a couple years ago, my closer was all about Louis C.K. and I was doing this bit about how Louis, like the people that go to pay to see Louis don't care about Louis's, ignominies, or I don't know what word to use. Louis's fetish,
Offstage
or what he
behavior.
likes to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I go, so apparently the people that are buying tickets don't care. And I go, that's why I think for Louis's closing bit, he should just do it on them. Like, it'd be like a Gallagher show where they all pull up the plastic. And I'm getting a kind of
That's great until Louis' brother is down on his luck, and then
No,
he's going around wanking on
worse.
small towns.
Worse, I get a call. "You want to open for Louis?"
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Sure. So I go to open for Louis, and he couldn't have been nicer to me. And I'm going, guess I'm not doing that bit tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't try?
you
You
know,
didn't
in re-
try? Did you bring it
No,
up?
and in
or-
retrospect, I think he would have. I don't know, because he's very sensitive about it, but he might have appreciated it. He might have thought it was pretty
Surely.
funny that I did it.
yeah.
But
That's a hell of a conversation to have in the green room. It's like, hey,
yeah,
my clothes is kind of about you, and it's
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's really killing.
Yeah. And I feel like you're giving me permission by having your dick out wanking while I'm talking to you. So
I cannot do it, but the crowd won't be very warmed up for when you come out. So it's sort of it's up to you.
yeah.
Are they done Me Tooing people in Australia? Is that over? Or is that still?
We haven't
still
gotten it
happening?
yet. It's still like
Yeah.
it's like in the 90s. It'll take us a few years to get all the new episodes of The Simpsons. And
Yeah.
I thought there were a whole bunch of comedians that got it, but they kind of like it got brushed over.
Yeah.
No,
No
one
great
lost a
examples
job?
of it. No, I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think so. I don't think
Oh.
anything really. I can't think of anyone that's really lost any work. I mean, pretty much like you guys over there. Louis still out there. He hasn't
Yeah.
lost any work. So I
Just won
can't
a
think of
Grammy.
anyone. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
he just
so
won the award for the best album and
best
well,
release,
somebody-
shall we say?
Cosby's doing an HBO special.
Oh,
right
man.
now.
Is he really?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
man.
Cosby
Just gonna say.
Cosby is the one canceled. Cosby
Okay.
is
Yeah.
because the only reason he got out of prison was a technicality.
Yeah.
Right,
And,
right.
But
And
he's
what
so-
about
he-
what about Harvey Weinstein? Is he working the rooms again?
Yeah,
Is he
he's-
popping up at the store?
Yeah. He's Gallagher
Harvey,
3.
I think I think Harvey's done. I think he's
Okay.
smoked. But
Alright.
there were some others. I mean, but I think it's kind of, people have gotten tired of it. It's just like everybody was doing it to and it would be because people would call people out and then people would be like, "Wait a minute. Didn't you just rape so and so?" And it was like, "Oh yeah."
Right.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah,
so.
so that's more brutal. I mean, there's
sorry
one
about
thing
my
to
glass
rape someone.
house.
Remember my
Yeah.
name.
So and so. Justice for so and so.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like
Yeah.
people only have the capacity to really care about like one big thing at a time, where it was like that, and then kind of the pandemic kicks in and people are like, I'm at cap with this now.
Well, also, I think it's a bit like, in your country at the moment, there's all this stuff about, about what Trump's done and whatever. And it feels like no one's getting punishment unless it's like a fucking Scooby-Doo thing where they're pulling off a mask of someone at the end and going, it's definitely this person. Unless there's like fingerprints the size of fucking, your wallet on someone, then you're not getting actually arrested for anything, maybe?
But even then, I mean, the Trump stuff every day, they're like, he's being indicted on this, he's being indicted on he's being investigated. There's another trial, and he just goes, they're all liars, they're liars,
Yeah.
they're liars, and half the country's like, they're liars, and
Yeah.
so no matter what they do, all you do is if they come after you, just go to the other side. They hate me. Okay, we
Yeah.
like you then. You're on our team.
Yeah. Well, it's a real.
Pick up your
It's a.
gun.
I think our politicians have learnt from yours in the last 10 years. Where I do remember a time in politics not that long ago where if you did the wrong thing, you immediately put your hand up and said, I was wrong. Sorry, everyone. I resign," or whatever. And it's like now, anytime anyone does everything wrong, they've just looked over the ocean to you guys and gone, "You just ignore it, or you say you didn't do it," and then people get tired of following up on it within 2 days, and then it's like, "Okay, cool, no problem."
Well, Andy Dick was the best example of that ever. Andy Dick got Me Too'd, and they were like, there was a woman who's like, he licked my arm in a bar. He just came up to me and licked my arm, and they were like, "Andy, is this true?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's my thing." He was like, "That's what I do." He's like, and if they like it, I go further. He's like, if they don't like it, I stop. And everyone's like, okay. And people are like, well, he's fucking crazy, and
Yeah. What do you
okay,
do next?
like what do you,
yeah.
what do you, and so then people start going, oh, you just admit to it and you don't apologize. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was horny.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's my thing. That's what I
Yeah.
do, and people are like, because if you start to apologize, they see blood in the water and they're
Yeah.
like, get him,
Yeah.
get him. And you
Yep.
can give it was Matt Damon was the greatest when Matt Damon said that there's a spectrum between what Harvey Weinstein did and what Louis did. And they were like, Matt Damon, how dare you? They were like, micros add up to macros. And it was like, I heard his whole explanation and I was like, wow, that was really, wow, Matt Damon. Can I write down what you said and just repeat what it just sounded very sensible and common sense oriented about like let the crime, the punishment fit the crime and whatever the degree is, that's how they should be punished. And we shouldn't one size fit all. There's nuance, there's this. And I was like, wow, whoever thought Matt Damon would be the voice of reason in all this? And I thought, this is going to change everything. And the next day, people are like, Matt Damon's a rapist.
It changed
He's
something.
a rape apologist. And I was like, okay, I'm not with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I'm not with Matt Damon. I'm over here. Let's kill them all. Burn them. Burn them.
I really felt like when the pandemic kicked off, it's like this is gonna mean that people just don't have the capacity for any of those kind of conversations for a bit, because it's like basically the world is ending. And then there was an Australian comedian that like a week into the pandemic kind of went a bit nuts and got on Twitter and just started like me tooing all these people. And it was like, you can still go to the park, just go for a walk. You're really spending all this currency like I think this was someone who thought it'd be done in a month. So it's like, let's get it over and done with now. It's like, hey man, you've got 2 years to lose your mind. Don't stress it.
And also that person that put out the big list, there was a big list of comedians that person then named. And to show how offline some comedians are, one of those comedians that she named rang me the other day to go, was I on a list 2 years ago of people on the internet? And I was like, I think you were, yeah. And they're like,
I've been in the bomb shelter this whole time. I thought it was going to kick off.
I gotta see this list.
yeah.
I don't know if
I
it's
know-
I think it's
I
I don't
know
think
what
it's
you're
lost to
talking
time
about.
now. You
Yeah.
might be able to
Was
hop in the
this-
Wayback Machine and find it.
Yeah.
Was this a comedian's girlfriend did it?
No.
No.
Oh, it's a comedian talked about a comedian.
Yeah,
No.
a
Other
comedian
comedians.
talked about a lot of comedians. Yeah.
Okay,
And then I think
okay.
kind of
Yeah.
the next day went, whoops, and deleted
Yeah.
the whole thread.
Yeah. And maybe a lot of other comedians' management went, what the fuck is this? and then quickly found a phone number of whoever was responsible for it.
March
Well,
2020
that-
was a beautiful time.
Yeah.
That was the whole Louis thing. The fact that his manager stepped in.
Mm.
And his manager called the girls that were involved and said, he called their management and said, hey, and as I understand it, it was a little bit of this like, hey, they might want to keep quiet because Louis married and this could break up his marriage. And, Louis a very successful guy that, not saying like he'll
Sorry.
ruin them in the business. It's like, but you want him on your side to help you, like Hollywood is. You can't have enough friends, and you don't want to make enemies. And I think that was, I don't know, this is all hearsay, but that was the management advice, and it turned into the management called and like, you tell them to shut the fuck up, or
Right.
he will destroy them. And then it was like the power, the patriarchal power, rah, 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 and
Yeah, it's a thin line between the two, I guess, though. It's a tough one.
yeah, it's we say the N word in America is nuance.
Hey Eddie, not to
no
say
one
that this
had
is getting too full on of a conversation, but are you going to ask us questions about Vegemite or what?
There was.
That's what
Look
Malone
at this.
said this was.
There was a list of it, and I was like, I'm enjoying this conversation too much. And
Yeah,
got
we haven't seen you
9
in
minutes.
ages.
Yeah,
We've
I'm
got
into
9
it because I don't think I've quite incriminated myself yet. I think we've just let you say things and we've nodded, so I think we're fine.
Oh no, that's bad
we've
enough
got-
these
yeah.
days.
We've got 9 minutes left, and there's no fucking way I can do it. But I was
Okay.
like, and you know what? None of them. I couldn't find the good questions, so
Oh.
you guys get the shitty ones anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
You should. Wow, I saved all the good ones for Will Anderson.
yeah.
What's it
I
like
have
to
a
be
question
successful?
for-
That's
I'm
cool.
gonna-
That's not applicable.
Okay, so for like, because Aussies don't want to hear this, but Americans have this weird obsession with all of your deadly animals, and when Americans come to Australia, you guys let everybody believe they're all going to kill them.
Yes.
Yet I've never seen or heard of anyone ever being bitten by a snake. I because I surf a lot. I have met shark attack people, couple,
Mhm.
but I've never heard, and that's just because when it does happen, everybody's like that guy.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy then.
Yeah.
buck
Is that like
jellyfish.
in comedy, like someone having a really big fucking bomb on TV? It's like that's the shark
Yes.
attack. That's the equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody knows him or worked with him once or saw him or their cousin, has slept with him or something. And it's just, I met the guy that got bit by or attacked in Byron, and in what's it called? Is that Talos on the other side?
Dunno.
What's the beach on the other side of Byron, on the other side of the
Don't know.
lighthouse?
We're not. I mean, I know we look like big surfers, but we're actually not, Eddie. So yeah.
Anyway, I met
It
the
looks
guy in
it
the
looks
bar.
like the box cover of Point Break right now, but appearances can be deceiving. Yeah.
I'm not even going to tell the story.
Oh.
Dumb story. The guy got attacked twice.
Oh no.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Jesus.
Wow.
And he's
Because I said to him when he told me he was the guy, I go, I don't want to surf there. The guy got attacked there, and he goes, yeah, that was me. I'm like,
Ah.
you? And I was like,
Nice.
wait a minute, I saw you on TV. And he had a surfboard that looked. It was a purple surfboard that fish shape. There's a shape called a fish, and he had the bottom of it painted with like silver scales. I go, are you a fucking moron? Out in the water, just like, come get me, sharks.
Hey, shark,
And
suck me
so-
off.
Yeah.
I'm just above this.
Yeah. Imagine dressing stupidly as something else, Eddie.
I know, seriously. Who would do that?
Do
You
you
know what,
seriously? Do you
guys?
take video or screenshots of this at all?
Yeah.
Is this literally just
This
for
is all
us?
video. This is going on
Okay.
YouTube.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
good,
Right.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm about to go get into 3 hours of makeup and come back as Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. if you don't
Good.
Like this.
We'll do this again. Do the same
Oh,
script.
by
Take
the
two.
way, I might be the ugliest drag queen in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they started on me, I was worried that I was gonna look pretty good. I'm like, I might be like feminine.
you might be
and,
too
like,
into it.
Yeah, and I
You
was
might-
like, I might look and be like, oh, I have like a lot of feminine characteristics, and I actually look better as a woman than a man. And when I looked into the mirror, I went, I might bash me.
Yeah. Right.
Eddie, I
Like,
got to tell
I
you,
am-
Yeah.
I've had the same thing. I've been watching. My girlfriend's a big RuPaul's Drag Race fan, and so I've watched bits and pieces of that, with her. And I've had the same thought. I'm like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I'm considering a late career pivot into drag.
I think
shave the
but
legs.
I can't think of many examples of successful of like people pulling it off well, but that's why I was extra sad a couple of weeks ago when Taylor Hawkins died, because I thought the Learn to Fly music video for Foo Fighters, where he dresses up as a female air hostess.
Yep.
He fucking pulled it off. He was hot. He's a hot woman. He was a hot woman.
A female.
Was
air
it? Was
hostess.
it?
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into this now, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it a hot body? Did he have a hot body? 'Cause
Hot
sometimes
face.
He
men's
looks hot.
legs-
No, hot
No, see,
face.
my face looked like I looked like Magda from There's Something About Mary.
Right.
Like I looked like
We've got the picture here. Milan, get it up. Milan's running our tech here, and he's got it here. It's actually his homepage on his phone for some reason. But yeah, no, you look fine. You
Yeah.
look good. What's wrong with that? That's good. Yeah.
Really?
Eddie, there's been points in my life where I've been like single and down and out. Where I
Yeah.
tell you what, 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
definitely gone home
Yeah.
with that for sure.
3:30 p.m. I would have probably. Yeah.
Are you
After
guys,
school.
Are you guys single right now, or
No.
you
No.
both-
No.
but Are you married? Neither.
I'm
I see a
married.
ring.
I'm
You
married.
are
Here's a
You're-
ring.
You're
Here
not.
we go.
Tom.
Here we go.
I'm married to comedy.
Yeah.
Carl, do you have children?
I have one. Yes.
Oh God, you know the
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
How old?
3.
Okay. Now, if you two were a couple, who would be the bottom and who would be the top?
Hang on.
Why'd you have to ask us about relationships
What-
and kids?
Yeah, why did you need to know how old my kid was before you said which one would fuck the other?
I just wanted to act like I care.
I do think it does help the psychology if it was like if we just immediately went, oh, I'd be the top. I would be fucking the man with a child in the ass. I think it does help add a certain kind of context to it in some weird way.
I know you've been asked that question before.
Have we?
Believe it or not, it's Yeah, it didn't come up when we were on the project. Waleed didn't open with it. That's the evolution of Roves. Who would you turn gay for? Which one of you would fuck the other one?
I'll be honest. I think no one's asked it because I think they know the answer. I think no one needs to really ask the question.
Yeah,
I think they know who Dad is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, we only have one. We only have one point of evidence that either of us aren't virgins at this point. I have Exhibit A at home.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
there's nothing here.
You're
for
the only
him.
one who canonically their dick works.
Yeah. Yeah, I could say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yeah.
Does this exist or what?
Oh, yes. So she's evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Take her out of her Ziploc bag.
My daughter, Exhibit A.
Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do I fuck or what?
And meanwhile, I'm there sweating with my lawyer, like, we got our work cut out for us here.
And you quick put on this condom. If it fits, you must quit or something. I don't know.
It's slipping off. Fuck, these extra small ones got me again.
What is Milan doing right now? Is he hearing this at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's listening. He's crying.
He's just out of frame. He's here with us.
He's jerking off.
Basically, I do this show just to amuse him.
Well, originally we were just about to start and we realized he couldn't listen. And he was just going to sit and listen to half of this conversation.
And we would have had to, the episode would be brutal to listen to because it'd be us turning to Milan every 5 minutes and go, Eddie's killing, by the way. He just said something really funny.
And us pausing to take the headphones off and explain the setup. Oh, okay, that punchline makes sense from 30 seconds ago. Okay,
he's asking
that's
us
great.
which one would fuck the other one. It's great stuff.
Why? Hang on, boys. Why is he asking how old your kid is?
And then he would only pay for half your drinks after the show.
Yes.
Yeah. Half a shot. Yeah.
How much alcohol that Milan has bought you do you think you've poured on the ground?
I would say very little. I would say more he's poured himself on the ground. I watched him pour some on the ground last weekend, but no, I've
what?
He's nodding furiously now, like I'm wrecking his reputation. But no, you know what? I think me and Milan are such good friends because I reckon for the first year or so of our relationship, I refused to let him buy me one drink, and I think 1 year in, he was like, "I think I can trust this guy. He's not like all these other fucking open micers that are just hanging around looking for drinks, like seagulls looking for chips."
I have done more Irish goodbyes to Milan than anyone in the entire
What is that?
world.
Irish goodbye.
Irish goodbye, just when you leave without
Ghosting,
saying
right?
goodbye.
Oh, I never heard that before.
I'll go to Milan. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. And then I fucking sprint home to get away from them because I know it'll end in death.
Yeah.
And I just go, I've got to get away from him right now. One time, Arj and I were together and he just kept buying us drink. Every time I'd like a half full drink, he's like, "Nah, you need a full one."
Yeah.
And he would just put a full one in my hand. And Arj and I were just like pouring them into the tree. And he's like, and afterwards, he's like, "Did you guys have a good time?" We're like, "Yeah, so did that tree."
Yeah, a much better time than when Louis C.K. was here last week. Yeah.
That joke would have been awesome if you used Harvey Weinstein, because you know the story about when he jerked off in the.
He did that. You know what? I got it mixed up. I genuinely thought Louis C.K. was the one who did that, who jerked off.
No, in the restaurant. In the restaurant, the girl ran away from him, and he finished in the plant.
Oh, wow!
And it's like everybody always talking about that girl, and I'm like, she got away. What about that plant? That was just sitting there. Like,
what about the succulent? Yeah.
This creepy fat guy is jerking off on me right now. I'm just a plant.
Oh, damn. I feel bad that I've been just like mushing those two together and being.
No, I thought you didn't know. I thought I was the only one that reads like
the fine print.
Tiny parts, like, by the way, and he finished in a plant. I'm like, okay, that's the part I care about. This is why I had all these. Let's go over a few of them, even though we're almost done. I mean,
I didn't know that story, by the way, so I've learned something about your country. Was that the point?
Really?
Yeah, was that the point of this pod?
Yeah.
I feel like I know more about American culture now.
I wanted everybody to know that Harvey Weinstein finishes in trees, plants, in restaurants. In restaurants.
In restaurants. At the
He
like at the
does-
base of it, or like halfway up, or like
I think he got a little on the leaves,
right?
and then he made
Okay.
sure he soiled, got it
Yeah.
in the soil
Into a few nutrients. Didn't just waste it on the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember a similar thing. I remember as a child, my parents teaching me not to water the leaves because they're not getting anything out of it. You got to put
Oh,
it
they
into
don't?
the base. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
got to go in the base. No
Yeah,
wonder
yeah.
my plants are dying in front of my house.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that I live in California and we're not allowed to water anything because we're all dying
Yeah.
in a desert. You get that. You get a lot of water restrictions, right?
Yeah. Time to time. Yeah.
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 They came
I
to
mean,
my house.
We're
They
the
were like,
we're
"You
in the
guys
sort of wettest state, sort of out of everyone.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You guys, what's the worst? Would it be Western Oz or
Yeah.
Adelaide, like where they are in
The driest
South
state.
Australia?
Oh, the driest.
Yeah, maybe Western Australia because I guess because Queensland's quite tropical up north. It's sort of close
Well,
to
you
the
know what?
equator.
I've got it right here, so I'll tell you.
Okay, great. Finally, something about Australia in this fucking podcast, apart from your fucking wardrobe.
Okay, here. I don't think you guys know anything about Australia. I'm going to give you a question. 20 of the world's 25 deadliest snakes are found in Australia. Name 19 of them.
Brown snake, black snake,
Purple snake.
Yellow snake,
Yeah.
magenta snake,
yeah,
cyan snake,
yeah,
teal snake.
yeah,
You're almost
magenta.
there. Yeah, that was 11.
No, what is that? No, I genuinely all I know is that brown is like the worst because I always thought that's weird that brown's such like a boring color, but it's like number one. It's the fucking deadliest.
Yeah.
But brown and
brown
black.
brown belt in karate is like you're not like the black belt is the shit, and the brown
Yeah.
belt is like you're not a black belt.
Yeah,
And black snakes are like,
yeah,
nothing unless you're watching porn.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know any. I don't know.
I don't know any snake stuff, but you grew up in the country? Did you have any snake experience?
No, not really, because like
Is that not an area where they are, or?
No, I mean, I lived on a farm for like growing up for like about 6 years, but my dad would go and like fucking kill snakes, but that was about it. But I didn't know what they were. I just knew that they were like there were brown snakes around all the time, which were the worst, the deadliest ones. And then my dad would go, "Don't worry, I've got a shovel," and he would just go up and fucking kill these snakes. And I'm like, this is a weird thing to have my dad take something out of the fucking garden and go, "I'm about to kill the deadliest animal in the world."
Right, right. Oh, I know one.
That's-
I know one of the deadliest ones. Snakes alive.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
Eddie?
absolutely wasted on
Eddie, I think your camera's frozen up. I think the connection's
I think
gone bad.
mine's frozen too,
What?
I think.
um,
There's a confectionery. There's a little sweetie down under called.
okay, here's
Snakes
another
alive.
trivia question.
Can we have the
What
answer?
is-
Can we have the answer?
What is? I didn't know it. I don't. I only have the questions. I don't.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
right,
You just get
okay.
these from questions.com.
Right.
What is the name of the active volcano on Australia?
Mm,
Oh,
God.
damn.
Um,
I have no.
Mount Hemsworth. I don't know. No idea. I didn't know
Good,
we had one.
Good, because there isn't one.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
There we
that's
go.
good. That's
we go.
good.
Okay. What year did they change the national anthem from "God Save the Queen"?
Ooh.
Oh, 2022.
I'll
God Save the
say.
King.
I'll say. Have you got the answer to this one or not?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would
let's have
love
a
to watch
guess.
this quiz show on TV where the host has been given the questions but none of the
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I would say it'd have to
You
be
remember-
recent. It'd be like 65, let's say.
84.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Quiz shows. What was that show? Not Thank God You're. Good News Week.
Yep.
I used to do that show every once in a while, and they would give us the answers to the questions.
Yep.
And I would purposely get it wrong every single time. Like every
Yeah.
time I was ever on the show, I never ever once got a question right.
You
but I
know that
had
that's
them.
you know that that's supposed to help you just be funny, not really win the quiz show. That's supposed to just like
Right.
get you to
But I
write
just
jokes. You're not supposed to go on there and just be wrong, and that's it.
but I just found it fun to be wrong every single time, even when it was like the easiest answer in the world. And I remember reading in a YouTube comment, which is what I do on my Sundays. Someone said, I hate this guy so much. He never gets any of the questions.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff like this. Like Tony Martin will be on the big show here called Have You Been Paying Attention all the time, and he'll quite often put up things where it's like listeners or watchers, viewers have said, "Oh man, he fucked this up and he fucked that up," and it's like, yeah, he was being funny on a comedy show. Like, who wants to get on there and win nothing? It's not,
Yeah.
it's not Jeopardy.
Yeah, he doesn't think the national anthem is actually up there, up the bum no babies.
Yeah,
he's,
yeah.
He's being funny. Eddie, I like that you doing that. There would be American people that live in this country that have to deal with the stereotype of like, dumb Americans just know nothing. And then it's like, there's clips of you on a news show getting everything completely wrong, having to be like, this guy's doing the worst PR for our country
Yeah.
that it's possible to do.
I'm a good name dropper, and I don't have many Bill Burr stories, but I do have one Bill Burr story where in the middle of the night, I forget if I got a text or an email or whatever it was, and it was Bill Burr, and I think he said, "Call me," and he said, "What the fuck is this? I'm watching on the internet, and you're being drilled by some guy who's shitting on America on some talk show in Australia, and you're letting him. What the fuck are you doing?" and I love that it kept Bill up at night. Like he's just sitting there, and he talks about that in all his shows about how he watches shit on the internet and he gets so angry about it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
glad to know that somehow
Yeah.
I came across his views, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you letting them shit on America?" And I'm like,
We're not
I'm
big.
good at that.
We're not big name droppers either. We just keep mentioning you. So yeah.
All right, I'm starting to like these questions now.
Okay.
If
Let's
you
start
were
the
to
show.
stretch Aus-
Go.
how wide is Australia if you stretched? My 3 dogs are barking now. Something's going on. One of them's probably dead. If you stretched Australia, if you put it over like the map of Europe, it would go from London to where?
Oh,
God.
if you stretched it.
If you just picked it
If
up
you
and
laid
put it
it
on top
over.
of.
It. If you
Oh,
just
okay.
placed it on top, how wide would Australia go?
That's asking us for knowledge of Europe, of which I have very little. I don't know what's the furthest east in Europe. I don't even fucking know. What's over in the east?
It could even
Bulgaria?
go past Europe. It
I
could
don't
even go
know.
past Europe.
Oh,
to
America
Asia or
then.
to
I don't
wherever.
know.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
LA. Let's say LA.
No, come on.
I don't
Australia,
know.
It's not that big.
Can we phone a friend? Can we
Yeah.
ask Milan?
Can I phone Rand McNally?
Is that a person?
Damn.
Is Rand McNally a person, or is that like 2 people?
I think it sounds like 2 people, doesn't it? Like
Who-
whose first name is
If
Rand?
they were to fuck, who would be the top? one?
Yeah. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon McNally's
McNally.
fucking giving it out big time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Rand, you'd say is short for Randy, which
Yeah.
implies he wants to be on top.
Well, but you can be Randy and be like,
Oh, yeah, you're
come on
right.
in, McNally.
Yeah. McNail me.
Yeah, that's our answer. You don't need an actual guess.
that's
from
our
2
Good
dumb
News
fucks
Week
who've
answer.
never looked at a maps in their lives.
No,
Yeah,
I can't
this is a
believe
show
it.
about Europe.
Moscow.
Okay.
I'd say I don't even know where Moscow is on the map.
So that would be like Sydney to Perth is London to Moscow.
Okay.
But I've heard it's very similar with the U.S. It's like New York to L.A. is like Sydney to Perth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I think our country's like basically the same landmass essentially, but just like a
You're-
fraction of the
yeah.
population.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
about right. Yeah, there's stuff
guys
in the
know how to-
middle of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dingo wall kept everyone out.
Yeah.
Um,
we're just like a kid eating a cake, just eating the frosting up the top. We
Yeah.
just take the coasts. We don't touch the doughy middle shit. We just want the icing around there.
I've been to the doughy middle, and there's a reason you don't go there.
Yeah.
I was in Sydney last weekend doing some gigs, and I was referring to Sydney as a flyover state, and they hated it. I was like, I fly over here to go from Melbourne to Brisbane, so it's just nice to, do that a lot. It's
Yeah.
just nice to be here in
Oh,
one of the flyover states. They were absolutely
Them and
not
their
into it.
Sydney pride. All of you guys, Sydney and Melbourne have such pride.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
their cities.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Here's a good one. I love this one. I lost it. Oh, in 2005, security guards at Canberra's Parliament House were banned from calling people what word?
Oh.
In 2005? Canberra
2005.
security.
Sounds to me like the fallout of
Parliament.
another classic chaser prank.
Calling people what word? Gentlemen? What about that? Were they going like PC or something and just like going gender free? I don't know.
Mate.
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 Okay.
Okay.
All right.
They were
That's-
also not allowed to call people cunts.
Okay.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen in 2005. That happened.
Yeah.
That happened in
2004.
2004.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, it shows you what a deranged country we are that had to come in as a thing. It's like, hey, maybe knock it off with this mate stuff when you're at work at Parliament.
Yeah, but it is, and I don't know how often people have said this, but this is a very obvious stand-up bit if people haven't done it already. But it is a weird country where it's like, if you hate someone, it's like, what's your fucking problem, mate? It's like, that's a really quick pivot right there. That sounds like
wouldn't
we're
say that
friends,
in
but you're going to
America.
kill us. Yeah,
You wouldn't say it in America. You wouldn't go, "Hey, friend,
yeah.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you." Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't happen.
You'd use
Yeah.
bro aggressively though, wouldn't you? Bro can be like,
Yeah,
pleasant, but also like.
but all the like Middle Eastern, my friend.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
They might say it, my friend. you
Right.
know.
Yeah, sure.
If you-
Yeah, I like
my friend,
that,
if you
friend.
puke in my cab again, I'm going to have to smash your head with a rock, my friend. Here's a good one.
So we're being
wait, I
likened
had a
with people
question
that don't have English as a first language. That's
Yeah,
how
that's
that's how
Australia.
we use English.
Yeah.
do
English
you
is a fourth
guys
language.
do corporate gigs ever? Like, is that common for comics over there? I've done.
we
some of them.
as a species of Australian comedian, yes. Me and Tommy, no. Yeah.
They exist. I've heard tell.
Yeah.
I've heard stories around the campfire.
Yeah. We've read about him in books.
I did one there once where when I got there, they like had a meeting with me in this like side room before I went on, and they were like, "We just want to let you know what you can and can't say." In America, you can't say anything. I mean, there's like every single word. You have to be like a G-rated show when you do a corporate, and it has to be so PC because the corporation, everyone can get fired. So they're like, "Don't say this, don't say that, don't allude to that, don't say this." I go, "Okay, what can I say?" And the guy goes, and it was for Lion Nathan's beer.
Well, I know it
like
wasn't
the-
a Parliament House because he said mate to start with. So yeah.
And the guy goes, mate, so be up there, be, we want you to keep it clean. And I go, okay. He goes, so just don't say cunt.
Yeah.
And I go, I didn't even know that was in the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
And I go, I have a joke about little people, and I use the word midget. I go, can I say midget? He goes, oh, fuck yeah, mate. He goes, fuck yeah, they'll love that.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you got any poofter jokes? He goes, I swear to God, this is true. He goes, you got any poofter jokes? He goes, because we fucking got one. He goes, fucking pay him out, mate. Pay him out. And I'm like,
Jesus.
I don't know what direction this just went.
That's because to be honest, I feel like him saying don't say cunt. If you would have gone, oh come on, all right,
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. And Eddie, how did all your poofter jokes go at that gig?
Oh God, I just couldn't believe it. I felt like we were committing a hate crime the way he's like going. He's like, oh, fucking get him, mate. I'm like, no, I think I'm going to refrain from any of those that I had.
Yeah, great.
All right. I love the volcano one. I threw you guys with that.
You really did.
This isn't even a question. This is just a great fact. Did you know that you guys, the Australian Alps, receive more snow than Switzerland?
Oh.
Is this another made up one? I'm not
Yeah.
falling for this again.
Yeah.
That's a true or false. True or false?
Stop making us know less about our country.
So the Australian Alps get more snow than the Swiss Alps.
Is this like a geography one again because they're bigger than the Swiss Alps or something? Like they're longer or something? I don't know.
It seems like one of those kind of like trick where it's like such an odd fact that it has to be true.
Yeah, like
know
why
what I
would you would be an idiot to bring this up as a question unless
Yeah.
it's not true.
Yeah.
So let's say we do get more snow, comfortable in the fact that that's what should happen next. And
Yep.
if we're wrong, you're just a terrible host of the show.
Come on, Eddie.
Yeah.
Fuck us in the
Which
ass.
one?
What
Which
do you
one
got?
is it? Which one is it?
It's true. It's true.
So we're
It's
right.
true.
Good.
Yes.
Good. We've
Thank
both done our
God.
job properly. Well done, everyone. Yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. An Aussie legend, doesn't say who, once tried selling New Zealand on eBay.
That's
What
funny.
was the starting price?
Oh,
I
can we
wanna
know who
know-
the legend is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that to know. Milan, Google it.
Milan.
Who
What are you
tried to
doing?
sell New Zealand?
Let's get a number
Yeah.
crunch on that, Milan.
What was the starting price?
For New Zealand. Well, again, it's
$100. That's $500 New Zealand.
Yeah, or like sucks dollars. You know,
that's funny.
something
very
A,
funny.
low, and B, a dunk on the New Zealand accent.
Yeah, sucks dollars.
Sucks dollars.
Oh, okay. I'm
Okay.
glad we didn't name him.
Let's bleep that.
Yeah, bleep that.
What, the
Yeah.
legend?
Yeah, that's not a legend.
we found out who the legend
That's not a
was.
legend.
Can I? Oh, tell me off air. I don't want it either.
Yeah.
All right. 1 cent.
1 cent.
1 cent.
Okay.
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 And what did it sell for?
Yeah.
Uh,
5,200 US is
Wow.
what Milan's saying.
I love that some douchebag paid that money thinking they're
Yeah.
gonna own New
I
Zealand.
own New
Yeah.
Zealand now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna go over there and fuck a hobbit.
Yeah. And
It's
the
my
guy
country.
the guy selling it has been getting paid money for not providing properly for years anyway, I think so.
The guy that featured for me this week in Omaha, Nebraska, told me he's going to school for space law. And I go, and I used to have a bit about who owns the moon. And he goes, about like the moon, territorial rights. And I go, so like someone owns the moon? He's like, well, that's what we're getting into. And I go, it's pretty stupid. He's like, no, it's not. He's like, somebody's going to own that shit. And he goes, the U.S. used to have a flag on it, but their flag fell down or something. So they no longer have a flag in it. So
Oh.
if you can get to the moon, the Little Dum Dum Club can.
Wow.
own
Oh,
the
wow.
moon.
That's all we've got to do.
Yeah.
If we can
Take
do a
'em to the
podcast
moon
festival in
instead of
Thailand, we
Thailand.
can do one anywhere.
Yeah,
How does a flag
yeah.
fall down when there's no gravity?
Yeah. Also, what sort of interstellar
Oh,
rules
no,
are
no,
in
no,
place?
no. Here's what happened. The flag no
Fell up.
longer is, I think, red, white, and blue. It's only white. Like all of the pigment has died.
Oh,
white
shit.
and gone out of it.
Those colors do
So-
run.
Yeah.
So we just have to we just have to go up there and just put whatever. I mean, I think an ISIS flag would be pretty
Wow.
funny.
Yeah, for a
Just
while.
landed
But
one
like
on
now
the
that
moon.
I know that, like, I guess I didn't know the moon got that much sun that the colors could fade that quick. Like, I thought it's pretty cold up there. but
Yeah, that happened to
anyway.
my favorite T-shirt when I
Yeah.
had it out on the line.
Yeah.
That's cool to know that
Yeah,
it can
like,
happen on the
What
moon
sort
as
of
well.
laundromat is going on up there on the moon?
My fans aren't smart enough, but yours are, and they're probably gonna like in the comments be like, "Listen, you fucking idiots! This is what happened." You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we'll get reprimanded for
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
They're not. I
Uh,
mean, they're not going to the moon anymore, are they? They just kind of stopped doing. They're like, yeah, we went on played some golf up there.
Yeah.
Put a little flag in it. Doesn't
there's
it seem
nothing
like a
there.
thing where they should just be going up like once a week, just check in,
But like, yeah, I guess once you go there and there's nothing there, like there's no
get
no
a
point
great,
to going
you
there
get a
again.
great view, go
Yeah.
hang out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
Uh,
think that is the next thing, isn't it? Like a commercial way of going to the moon. Like,
Right,
that's all
right.
You, need.
Oh,
You just
yeah,
want Richard
Elon's
Branson
working
having
on
a
it.
good look. Yeah.
Richard, Elon, those guys are all. That's the thing. When you have so much money, even Bezos, they
Yeah.
all just. I guess when you just get so rich and your dick gets so small,
Yeah.
you just go, I have to go to space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's your Martha's Vineyard now or whatever. Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
place where
Well,
billionaires
we
are
have-
going to go to hang out.
Where I live, Bezos has been he's been living here all summer, and we've had tons of Bezos spottings on the beach. And apparently he's jacked. Like he's a
Really?
little guy that's just been lifting weights, and he's like, I own Amazon.
Man,
Uh,
good for him. Because like, if you're that rich, like
you-
you got to work hard to get muscles. Like you can't pay someone else to do it.
right.
You've actually got to do it yourself. So I kind of think that's impressive.
Yeah, good for him. And also, like, what's there's nothing nothing changes for you being ripped. You know, you're rich.
Yeah.
You've got the thing that's desirable to still go, no, I'm going to keep myself in shape.
Because like to get ripped, I mean, gutturally, it's like, oh, now girls will find me more attractive. You're
Yep.
the richest man in the world. You could be missing all of your legs and arms. You'd be fucking
Yeah,
every
it doesn't
night. I
matter.
think.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And you know what? I've been in good shape and bad shape, and it's never changed anything. No woman has ever liked me. So it doesn't change anything. I don't know. It's not worth the work.
Yeah.
What is Australia's home to one of the largest
What?
What's
something in
Well,
Australia?
okay.
They are known for the largest blank.
Well, we have lots of like big things as like tourist attractions on the side of freeways, like
You
the
d-
big
you do, that's true.
pineapple, the
That's
big
true.
merino,
Big banana.
big banana.
There's a big potato, which is like just a big rock.
Yeah,
Which, like, I mean, it's like the worst one. Like, potato could be fucking anything. It just looks like a big dump.
is
Is
the
this just becoming a thing where people are like, I'm just going to put the biggest thing so
Yeah,
people like
pretty
drive
much.
by my house?
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So people stop
Got
and
it.
buy a can of Coke.
Yeah.
Australia's
love to
home
just
to the
put a
world's
giant dildo.
largest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Australia is home to the world's largest Australian man.
The largest Ayers Rock. I
The
don't know.
longest. I said not largest.
Oh, the
longest.
longest. The longest.
Um,
Hmm.
let's see. Coastline. I don't know. Beach.
That would be a good guess. Golf course.
Oh.
Longest.
Now, if you
Yeah.
tell me right now you don't know the name of the golf course, I'm not answering any more questions. Fuck. This is the most. This is two people just saying things to each other whilst knowing none of what's going on. We don't know the answers. You don't know the questions.
You think customs is going to be impressed with this? You're going to be banned from the country for
Fucking
life.
hell.
I come on a 420 visa. I'm excellent at what I do.
I feel like if this was a game show, you know, the buzzer, like, that would be going on your side of the things as
Right.
well as our side of the things. You're not even getting your questions right.
Do you at least
True
know?
or false? True
Oh.
or false? Tasmania has the cleanest toilet water in the world.
Oh my god.
In the world, that can't be true.
In the world. In
Yeah,
the
no.
world.
That's false.
Well, let's say true from me.
You don't know, do you?
Oh fuck!
I
The
just made
fuck
it
is
up.
going on? Fucking hell!
I just read it. Says Tasmania has the cleanest air of anywhere in the world. I know they have clean water, but I'd
Jesus.
imagine. Have you ever met Tasmanian people? I imagine their shits are just awful.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like-
yeah.
So like that's a false. There's no way.
Yeah.
I think
There's a
the
lot of people down
cleanest-
there that are running from something for sure.
Yeah.
the cleanest toilet water would probably be. They'd have to be
Antarctic.
vegetarian, maybe.
Antarctic, surely.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a
yeah.
there wouldn't be a running system probably up there. There's just people dumping in holes in ice. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a good one, and I have the answer. You guys are home to
Phew.
the.
Do you have the
most
question
venom-
though?
Not really. Australia's home to the most venomous creature in the world.
Here we go.
What is it?
Is it? It would have to be.
Hannah Gadsby.
No. No.
Brother,
the
come
real-
on.
No.
That's the real
Come
answer.
on.
That-
Come
You might
on.
not want to come into this country again, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we have families here.
Right?
We
Hannah
deal.
Gadsby. I
We-
typed it right there. I love
My
She's
it.
a-
dog's
she's a nice
mooning
lady.
you on the camera. My dog's
Yeah.
so offended that it's showing you its little
Yeah,
dot
yeah,
on the
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
webcam.
She's that.
Oh,
Yeah, the
we're-
dog's nanetting you right now. Yeah.
We just. I tried to call my show the year that came out, my special. I wanted to call mine Manette,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
and just my promoters were like, "No,
They're
And
good
I was like,
promoters.
"Come
Yeah.
on."
Yeah.
I was like,
They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
No.
See, that's weird. I went to the dairy and said, "Can I take a shit in your milk?" And they said no. That's weird.
But it's my art.
All right, one more.
All right, one more. Come on.
Okay, I only have half the question.
Oh my god.
Half more.
That's 25% more than the last one. Good. All right.
No, I have two more because I want to know this one. Bob Hawke set the world record in beer drinking. 2.5 pints. How fast was it?
Oh yeah, it was. That's what we called a yard glass. and he was the he was the Prime Minister of Australia. He wasn't the Prime Minister of Australia when he set this record. He wasn't, of course, in a in a valuable sort of position like that when he did it. He was only a union leader
Oh,
when
really?
he did that.
He wasn't.
Yes.
Oh, I thought he did it when he was.
He was the head of the unions, though, which could be
Still,
conceivably
yeah.
seen as more powerful.
He was at the
but
cricket, right?
No. That was like a reboot.
He recreated it.
Yeah, that was like
Right.
he was known for that. So then he was doing
That-
that when they were still
right.
making him do that when he was like 85 years old. Like whenever he'd be at the cricket and on screen,
Yeah, that's
everyone
what
would
I
be
saw.
like,
That's what I
Right,
saw
right.
the video of it.
yeah,
That was
he's
fucking great.
yeah. But they were making like an 85-year-old man, like skull pint glasses, and it's like you're gonna kill him.
But it's it's sick that they're demanding it of him, and it's awesome that he goes, oh, all right,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's still going along with it. He's not like, I mean, if he'd gone, guys, I can't, I'm 80. It's like, fair enough,
Yeah.
fair enough, Bob. Sorry,
But
I
it is
love
funny.
the-
It is funny that they're like, when Trump got elected as your president, we were all like, what the fuck? He's a fucking idiot. Why would you elect him? And then it's like, oh, our favorite prime minister, maybe of all time, is the guy who previously set the record of drinking fucking a gallon
Yeah.
of beer the quickest. And we're like,
There's
no fucking shit.
there's
we
a beer
elected
named
him.
after him now. Have you had it? There's like a Hawks Lager
No,
that's
no,
like
no,
pretty
no.
new.
Yeah, but that's a
Pop in the
cool
front place.
thing, and it shows that like ours is just a dick. He doesn't drink.
Yeah,
Ours
that's
Yeah,
doesn't
true.
yeah.
drink at
Yeah.
all. He just does
Yeah,
does
yeah.
Adderall allegedly.
Yeah.
The
He drank it in like 5 seconds or something, did he? I don't know.
11 seconds.
11.
That's still
Yeah.
fast as shit because I think
That's
you can
awesome.
only do a bottle of beer in 8 seconds. So
Right.
Imagine
a
the
yard at 11.
imagine the Bob Hawke Milan collab we could have had.
Oh,
Yeah.
could you see if Bob Hawke's there like chug a beer? He's like Milan, no,
Yeah,
I've had enough.
yeah.
You're pushing it too
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask the minister for
Yeah.
Serbia to sit down.
Yeah. Milan's
Special
like
envoy.
I can get you to do it in 10.
Prove it.
Does it in 12. Yeah, does it in
Prove
12.
it.
Why do you hate me?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, box jellyfish was the most
Oh, the
venomous
most
creature.
venomous?
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Right.
Yeah. Have you
was gonna-
ever known anyone that's ever been stung by a box jellyfish?
Well,
Have you
our
ever
dad
heard
our
of it?
dad was fuck now I can't remember his name.
Steve Irwin.
Steve
we're
Irwin.
the
Yeah.
other Irwin children
We're-
that
We're
that-
the
yeah.
male bindies.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're bindo.
I haven't been
Dave,
stung by a jellyfish ever, but
Bindo.
I've had the cure a lot of times. Preventative.
I didn't know you
Yeah,
got
that-
stung down the throat, man. That's weird.
You paid for that in Germany.
yeah. Say what you will about their customs, you never see a single jellyfish bite.
give me the old give me the old jellyfish venom.
Yeah, give me the old
I'll
wobble
open my
wobble.
Man, this is not piss. This is cum. Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm protecting
We call-
myself from
we
the
call that
ultra
the Harvey-
jellyfish.
We call that the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
You're not an elm? Oh, my bad. Sorry.
I had a friend who spoke only Japanese. I knew him when he spoke English, but earlier he moved to Australia, lived in Sydney. His very first day in Sydney, he was surfing in Bondi, got stung by a blue bottle jellyfish, which I've been stung by. It's no big deal. But this one, the tentacles are really long. He went up and was yelling to the lifeguards. He like went up on the boardwalk where that lifeguard station is, and he's like, "Oh, that's my Japanese accent."
That's very
And he's
accurate.
Like, okay, yeah. And they're like, "What are you saying?" And those lifeguards like, "I fucking can't. What are you saying?" Yeah. And he's like, and they're like, "What?" He pulls his board shorts down, and it is just wrapped around him.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
And they filmed it on Bondi Rescue. It is, to this day, I've heard the highest rated episode of Bondi Rescue. And my
Wow.
buddy Taku became a celebrity overnight
That's
in
awesome.
Bondi. Everyone knew this guy. Everywhere you would go, they're like, Taku, there's the
That's
guy,
awesome.
Because of the jellyfish. I went to a
Yeah.
pizza shop. His picture was on the wall with celebrities,
Great.
like for getting
Fuck
stung
yeah.
by a jellyfish.
Yeah.
Listen, last one. This is my favorite part of this. I just found this on my notes, and it just says, where was it? I can't even find it. Oh, this is it. I swear to God, this is on here, and it's not a continuation of anything else. It says, truck-sized kangaroos, ?
Are there kangaroos the size of a truck? I mean, they do get pretty big, and if you hit one, it will fuck your car up. But I don't think
you'd
the
have
size
to
of
have a pretty
truck.
small truck. You'd have to have like one of those Isuzu, like those, those trucks that you go, is that looks like a truck, but it's a very, very, it's a truck the size of a car.
Oh yeah, you mean those little cube things?
Yeah, not even that, like a little bit bigger, and you
Right.
go, that's weird how small that is and still a truck. You can't have like a proper trailer truck size kangaroo. There's nothing that big. You only have a kangaroo the size of.
They're not Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see that thing
Have
the
you
other
seen
day?
the video, the one that's flexing though.
Oh yeah, they're
Or there's
ripped.
like-
Yeah,
they're
they're
fucking
big.
Yeah,
shredded.
they're ripped.
Yeah,
big.
yeah. They're super. Yeah.
They're
And
big.
like if they kick you, they'll fuck you up.
Did you see that? You wouldn't have seen this because this is only a very minor item the other day. But they're making, that movie Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
And they made that in Australia a few years ago, and they're making a sequel. And they just realized the other day that the government accidentally, like, they had to apologize the other day because they accidentally let out spoilers that they weren't authorized to. They said they had to come out and officially say sorry for revealing plot points of the movie. We didn't mean to do that. It's like a co-production. It's being housed. But they were like apologizing for letting out spoilers of Godzilla versus Kong 2. What happens? Can you tell me, government?
Well,
There's a guy looks up in the sky and he looks shocked. Fuck, what's the point of going now? I know the best bit.
I saw one time when I was in Australia at a Bunnings one time, a brown snake got in a fight with a redback spider.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of them were like fighting, and it's like, who's going to win? And the spider actually beat the snake.
Oh,
The spider
okay.
kills the snake. And, but there was like a crowd around it in Bunnings watching it go on.
In Bunnings.
Like it was like a cockfight in Tijuana, like all these people like in Bunnings. And it was the most viral video I've ever seen to come out of Australia. People,
So what's your equivalent in America of Bunnings? Bunnings here is like the biggest
Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Right, yeah.
So do you have, or do you think it would work over there, the phenomenon of what we have? Every weekend there is a sausage sizzle. So your equivalent would be
Yeah.
a dog stand out the front of our biggest homeware depot over here. So people are obsessed with the sausages that they cook out the front here. Do you have anything like that over there, or would that work if you started selling hot dogs?
No, we don't do that, but I would like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like a hot dog and a piece of white bread.
Yeah.
You could one up it. You could do tailgating in the Home Depot car park.
Oh yeah.
Just getting
What we
blind
get-
before you got by a
what we
saw.
get- What we get in our parking lots out here in LA, and I'm not sure what other parts of the country, illegal immigrants hang out in the parking lot that have like building skills.
Oh right.
And you can pull up in your car and they're like, hey, what do you have? And you're like, what do you need? And you talk to the one guy that speaks English and you're like, I'm doing drywalling or something. And then he goes over to them and speaks Spanish to a couple of them. And then two guys that you've never met, that you have no idea who are criminals because they came into the country completely illegally, get in your car with you and go to your house with you.
And fuck
and
you.
work for low wages and do the, and like this is a common thing. And they come to your house and they do the job and you like and then you drywall them or you murder them.
Okay.
And then you keep them for their
Right.
skin.
And then you don't have to
Right.
pay. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
show
right.
just
Oh, we
got
have
smart.
that. Yeah, we have that. Sorry.
no,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
you don't have that at Bunnings. You have
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
Island.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
I'm
I
gonna
think you
fly to
guys
Christmas Island, pick
Offshore
up a couple.
Bunnings. Yeah.
have illegal aliens there, and you look down on them, I guess, a little bit because they're just sort of walking across the border. When we have them here, it's like, good work, man. How the fuck did you get
Yeah.
here? Like,
Yeah.
I
we're
feel
8
I
hours
feel
from
the same way
anywhere.
about ours.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about ours, but what people don't understand, 70% of ours are overstayed visas.
Right.
So like when
okay.
Trump was like, we got to build a wall, I'm like, maybe you should just fix the visa program.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Maybe make
why
more,
everybody's-
build more doors so they can leave.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this has been amazing. This has been my favorite episode so far.
Better.
And
I was going to
said-
say, who are we better than and who are we worse than out of your guests
you
so
were
far?
you were way better than the one where I was in full makeup and we never had an episode. That was one of the
I'm putting that on a
saddest days
poster.
of my life. I blame Milan for that. I hope
Yeah.
I get to see you guys.
He's responsible for a lot of people in makeup having their worst days ever, actually. So yeah, it's just nice
Hey,
that it was
I
a
want-
man this time.
I-
Yeah.
I want credit, by the way, for the term getting Milaned.
Sure.
He's like,
you
he
can
calls
have it.
me. He's like, we got T-shirts. We got T-shirts. There's T-shirts that say I've been Milaned. And I go, yeah, I came up with that phrase. He goes, I'll send you one.
Well, if it helps, they are not selling well. So this is on you. I know who to send a fucking invoice to. So
I want one. I want
Yeah.
a T-shirt.
okay, you can have one.
And
You
I
can have
want
one.
everybody that listens to this to listen to your show because it is an awesome podcast. And are you guys like quitting? Every time I do that, people are like, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah. This is where we're announcing it on
Yeah,
this podcast.
in the last 2 minutes of this podcast.
of not our podcast.
Are you still doing live ones?
Yeah.
We got one coming
that's
up, and
awesome.
I don't know when this comes up, but but we have one coming up in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something like that. Yeah.
This will probably be on. Where are you doing it?
In Melbourne. We're doing it in Melbourne,
Okay.
October 22.
Nice. And will I see either of you at the Adelaide Fringe?
So no, maybe.
Depends when you're there. Probably. Maybe.
I'm going to do the fest. I think I'm doing the whole festival, and then I might come to Melbourne. I don't know, and working on some other things. So I might be over there for a while. Who knows?
Cool.
Depends
Sure.
If we can yank our kids out of school
Yeah.
and put them in the little hats like this and let them run around Australia.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if Milan's got anything to do with it, we're tethered. Well, I feel like we're both culturally tethered to him. So as long as we're near Milan, I think we'll find each other.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah.
And next time I'll actually have some real questions.
Do them on the flight. You got 13 hours to.
Yeah. I think you did them on a flight already with no Wi-Fi because there's no fucking facts behind any of them.
Hey, that's why it's called Crocodile Dumb Eddie. And where can they find you guys?
Our podcast is called The Little Dum Dum Club. You can find it on whatever podcast app that you use. We're at Dum Dum Club on Twitter. We're at Little Dum Dum Club on Instagram, and then our own stuff is linked from all that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys, and thanks for listening to. I'm trying to.
Best episode ever.
Thanks for listening to Crocodile Dumb Eddie. The best episode ever. We're going to title this one. And you can find us everywhere from YouTube to all of the platforms that play podcasts. And check out all my shows at all the festivals and at eddyift.com.